Welcome back, my little recusants, to another episode of Final Fantasy 13. So, we are in the Mahabara Underground, traipsing through Pulse, trying to find our way to that big foul sea that was flying through the air in order to get to Erba, Fang of Vanille's home, in order to unbrand our brands, which are now starting to become a big red-eyed monstrosity counting down our inevitable transformation into horrific monsters known as Seath. So that's the whole lowdown. We're after doing an awful lot of leveling in our Crystarium last episode, so we are all level 4 in all of our different paradigms, and we're currently learning newer paradigms like Synergist and Commando and different bits and pieces for Vanille, Lightning and Hope to make our options way more versatile. And as I say, Lightning having only a few Synergist abilities like Bravery and Faith means that she can very quickly just hop into a paradigm, fire off those two, and then if Hope's focusing more on Protect and Shell, you know, it just means more buffs are being applied all at once. And, you know, if Hope applies a new buff, it like resets all the other buffs. So it all just works really well together. And then obviously if we also have the same thing with having Hope as a Commando, he has such high magic attack now that if we swap him into Commando with keeping Vanille as a Ravager, he'll be doing even more magic damage, considering the Commandos give attack bonuses to magic and strength. And it just means you get way more damage way more quickly, which is super cool. And we have these, again, more of the little one-armed robot guys that all we have to do really is just get them staggered once and then they become completely inert and immobile. And you can see there that, like, you know, the flexibility afforded of paradigms is really where this game, I suppose, makes you really have to think, because like that we have a situation here with double Ravager Saboteur purely to allow us to build that stagger really quickly, because with this particular enemy it's good to build the stagger really quickly because as soon as they're staggered they won't do anything. Whereas other ones, yeah, with like big bosses, it's like great, we're building the stagger and we're putting debuffs up, and the Saboteur doubles as a stagger slowdown kind of enemy. Or a stagger slowdown, jeepers, a stagger slowdown to the enemies. Now, again, we're just getting all these different treasure chests, and at this point in the game, it isn't totally necessary to like be super, I suppose, conscientious of all the treasure chests, because at least for this part of Grand Pulse, you know, you can run back here, you can use the seed stones to teleport around. If you miss something, you can still collect it again. The main issue with previous chapters is that you didn't revisit Palom Polum. You didn't revisit the lakefront. You didn't revisit any of the previous places like the Palamecia. So any treasure chests missed there, it was your own tough luck. You didn't get them, you know? Whereas now we're in Pulse and we're able to kind of take that bit of freedom to have a look around and collect stuff at our leisure, really, which is quite good. And we have these little flans, but we're gonna skip over that fight pretty much. And we're after finding a little orange dot, so let's have a cutscene.
Guys, heads up. Whoa! Look at that thing. Let me guess. That's a foul sea?
Yep. Busy carving out new tunnels.
Making roads where roads ain't meant to go, huh? Yeah, it kind of sounds like us. All right, roly-poly. Let's hitch a ride on that thing.
Now you're thinking Grand Pole style.
So we're after meeting another foul sea from Pulse. and it seems to be tunneling its little way around this area, so we're going to do our best to avoid getting squished. But this area really is such a good spot for grinding inorganic materials, because all you're fighting are machines. And like that, these little Hoptal guys, they aren't that much of a threat when they aren't with that big box guy that gives them 50 bajillion synergist buffs, you know? But you don't want them lumbering around, because that guy hits like a truck, and if you keep getting like hit by loads of different enemies, your HP will drop really quickly. So better to thin the ranks early than have him, you know, have lots of allies and lots of other turns. But we're quite high level, so generic mobs aren't going to be that much of an issue. But as you know, last episode we did some kind of boss fights, and like I say, it doesn't really matter what kind of levels you have. If you don't have the right strategy, a fight can just be nearly impossible. And here, remember I said about the guys, they aren't that difficult unless they have this big boxed phalanx. Oh god, I'm butchering that word now. But you don't want to have this for lumbery arms, because it is going to be not a good vibe when he starts buffing everybody. So we're just focusing that down first, and keeping in mind we do have our TP abilities, and we see him giving version upgrade. So we're just going to literally dispel everybody now, and with Dispelga they're all just nerfed back to their baseline abilities, and with the cost of 1 TP we turned quite a difficult fight into just a really simple and straightforward one, to be honest. Like, the TP Renew and Dispelga, massive. Like, absolutely massive in just a click of a button. You know, no ATB required.
That wasn't so bad.
You've just turned the tide of the entire battle, which is really, really cool, you know? And again, we just have to highlight the fact that it's only been like a couple of fights and we already have like 21,000. But it's also important to realize that to move from point to point, it's going to cost us 9,000 a go. So yeah, when you compare like the baseline ones, like the Commando and Ravager ones, they are way cheaper, like a tier on the very, very top, containing like HP plus 300 or something crazy, costs like less than 9,000. And here we have, you know, these other paradigms like Commando costing 9,000 or more on only like getting a HP plus 25, like, you know. These are definitely your post-game leveling ups, but we've done enough grinding that it's fine. We kind of have the stats and we have the freedom, the flexibility to just hop into these different paradigms and give ourselves some variety, some diversity. Because, for example, Fang and Vanille both have in Synergist, they have the Shell Ruz, Protect Ruz, Faith Ruz, and Brave Ruz. So what those do, basically, is they apply a stronger boost to strength or magic or defense or magic defense. They just don't last as long, and that is the trade-off. And so a Protect Ra will basically overwrite Protect, and it'll do more protection, but not last as long. And I got all the way to the other side of the bridge when I heard the little spinning noise of a treasure chest, and I was like, oh, I have to run all the way back. So I just sped that up for you guys. Just to not waste your time, even though I wasted my own time, basically. But well worth the, I suppose, diversion, because those give crazy good amount of experience. And what I can happily say as well is we are going to have a great little situation shortly where you're able to basically do Seedstone missions repeatedly,
Figure he's looking for something.
and then you're able to get a certain reward, and that certain reward allows you to sell it for around 6,000 gold. So it's like a really, really quick money maker to basically go to the R&D depot, that new shop that we unlocked, and allow us to buy a particular item that can basically max out max out weapons from like level 1 to like max in just one purchase. Now the thing you want to buy costs 50,000, but the money making Seedstone, it's really, really quick, to be honest. Like you can get maybe 10 battles done, getting you 60,000 in about quarter of an hour, 20 minutes. And for this point in the game, really, really good. And you'll see that much later on in the series. I kind of go back and do a bit of work there. But you're noticing I'm going to be upgrading some of Fang's equipment. And the reason for that, very transparently, is we're going to have a boss fight. I'm aware of the boss fight, so I'm telling you guys now, equip the bladed lance. You know, Fang nearly has 1,000 strength, you know, in comparison to Hope having over 1,000 magic. Really, really strong. But unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, the reality is we only have Fang and Vanille for this boss fight. And so I was hoping to get Bravera. Wasn't on the cards, unfortunately. But I will say as well, just in case you guys are looking at like the clocks and stuff, what ended up happening was I beat this boss first try. This is the go you're going to see now. I win the boss first try. Spoiler, I know. But I beat the boss first try, and then I go a little bit further and the game crashes. Now, as it happens, my recording saved, so I have this original footage of this blessed run. And afterwards the game crashes and I have to retry again, and I have to retry like 8 different times. So I don't know if that comes across in the playtime, but I'll let the cutscene play and we'll see each other when the boss starts.
These flowers, you remember them, right?
Yeah, sure I do. They grew all over Airbar.
We can't be far now.
It's my fault Grand Pulse ended up like this, isn't it?
What?
I remember everything. I became Ragnarok. I scarred Cocoon. And I left Grand Pulse in this mess. It was me.
What are you talking about?
It all came back to me. Everything that happened with iFocus. All of it.
You're lying.
No, it's the truth. It's all my fault.
Don't say that!
Vanille! The Eidolon knows the truth. Ha! I knew I was right.
Wait! So you were lying!
No more than you were. Admit it! You remember everything.
It wasn't your fault!
Vanille, we should talk about this later.
So, here we are, battle team changed. Fang and Vanille are 2 girlies from Pulse, on Pulse, fighting our demons. So, as you can see, Fang has now realized that Vanille has been lying about her amnesia, has been literally keeping her in the dark as to the fact that she knows what their focus is. Vanille just doesn't want to take part in it and has been lying to Fang as a result. Now, how Vanille gets the Gestalt gauge up is if she inflicts status ailments. So you can see she's after getting 3 brand new status ailments there: D-Protect, D-Shell and Imperil. And now if we just basically heal up Fang when she's getting absolutely pummeled, we also get Gestalt for healing. So while a lot of the time we want to focus heal Fang, we need Fang to kind of move up and be separate from Vanille, so that when the guy, Hecatoncheir, ends up attacking, Vanille is far away enough to not be hit by the AoE damage. And what's really frustrating is Vanille is just meandering her little way up. And so we're going to get the Sentinel up here now, and thankfully the Eidolon is attacking Fang, and we're actually at an angle. Never mind, we're not at the angle to not be hit, but we're going to just let Fang take a good amount of pummeling and then heal her up with Cure. And we have our, obviously, medic maxed out, so we have Curasa as well. And then we go back to building up our chain gauge and just allowing that to continue. I think if I was to do it over again, and like I honestly failed this fight so many times after winning it so cleanly this time, that I'm like, I don't even know why I struggled with it, because to be honest, what would be really good is a like Mystic Tower almost, as in Sentinel and Ravager. And so we're now in the Looming Rat, so we're kind of building up our cures again. And unfortunately, Fang doesn't have Ravager, so I imagine if we actually were a bit cheeky and built up Fang's Ravager and had dual casting, this might have actually gone up really, really quickly, because you'll notice that Vanille, when she builds up the stagger building really goes quite strong. And now, unfortunately, Fang has no longer pulled the aggro. Vanille is getting hurt. I'm like, can I do a cheeky renew? No, I can't. And I'm just wasting time here. So I need to be like healing. And then I'm like, oh, screw it. We only have a couple of seconds. Go, go, go. Build the stagger. And with that, we're going to have a closing cutscene, guys. And then it's going to be the end of the episode. But we finish first try. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the strategy. And I'll chat to you guys next time. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll continue on our Final Fantasy 100% journey next episode. Talk to you next time.
I knew something was off. You've been shying away from our focus ever since we woke up on Cocoon. I couldn't figure it out, but then it all made sense after hearing that story from Rains. You already knew. You knew Ragnarok was the name of destruction.
It wasn't fair. You had to do all the horrible stuff. And I didn't have to do anything.
That is no reason to lie to me. You think that's what I want? You, of all people! Poor kid. You've had it rough.
Fang.
Listen, you're not alone anymore.
I'm so sorry.
Keep that up and you'll have me crying soon. We have a new family now. We stick together, you hear me?